Hey guys, so my name is Erin Mason. I am your professor for this semester. I wanted to share a little bit about myself. I know online classes, it's harder to, it's just totally different than being actually in the classroom. It's harder to get to know your teacher. And so therefore it seems a lot colder, I guess, or more sterile because it's just the turn in the things, get the grade back, and all of that. So I just wanted to share a little bit about myself with you guys so you can know a little bit more about me. So, like I said, my name is Erin Mason. That is a photo of me. And I am in the Department of Rhetoric and Writing at UA Little Rock. I absolutely love this quote from Ernest Hemingway. It says, "It's none of their business that you have to learn to write. Let them think you were born that way." And that is exactly how I feel about myself, or even about your, your adventure basically through Comp 1 and ultimately Comp 2 and all of that for the whole for your college career. Not everyone is super gifted in writing. I would say probably, some people have a knack for it, just kind of like you have a knack for, a lot of various things. But you don't just immediately pick up the pen and then you're perfect. And a lot of people kind of get that impression. Just think about like a, basketball player. They didn't, they weren't born, Michael Jordan wasn't born being able to, dribble the ball and all that kind of stuff. And if I remember correctly, he didn't even make the cut for his varsity team in high school. So while he may have the skills, those are things that have to be fine tuned. So the same thing with going to basketball practice or practicing, the piano or the guitar or anything like that. Everything requires some kind of practice to constantly get better. So the same thing with writing. If someone says, "Oh, well, you wrote blah, blah, blah terribly." Okay, well, guess what? Aside from that's sort of rude, you can learn from what you did not do well, and the next time is better. And if each time you do something, if you just decide to pursue the next time being better, then that's all that matters. And that's just a part of life and all of that. So a little bit about my own education background. So we'll work from the bottom up. For high school, I went to Mount St. Mary Academy in Little Rock. I graduated in 01. For college, I went to UA Little Rock and for my bachelor's degree, and I have a bachelor's in liberal arts with a technical writing focus, and I have a double minor in political science and legal studies. I have a master's degree also from UA Little Rock in professional and technical writing, so I have a pretty strong writing background. Also, I have another master's in education. I got that in 2014. Originally, I was a technical writer, and I worked for some companies doing that. And I just decided, I wanted to be in the classroom. So I've kind of merged those two worlds into my career. And now I am a doctoral student at the University of Dayton. I am also taking online courses because I live in Little Rock and Dayton is in Ohio. So in a couple of years, I will be Dr. Mason, which is pretty cool. My work experience. So like I said earlier, I have not always been a classroom teacher. So I kind of take the things that I learned in the field as a writer and editor, and I use that oftentimes and probably in 80% of the things that we do in my classroom. I draw upon those experiences. So as far as my classroom experience goes, I teach currently for NLC College, which is in Conway, and for UA Little Rock. Prior to that, I taught at Maumelle Charter, Bauxite High School, and in Nome Belts Junior Senior High School, which is in Nome, Alaska. My son and I lived there for a year, which is the picture on the right over there that is at the end of the Iditarod sled dog race. And my first year of teaching, I taught at Little Rock Christian. So lots of years of teaching English specifically. Also, I've taught some technology and all of that. So I've been teaching for about 7 years total in the classroom. 5 of those years have been in higher ed. Some of the high school courses that I taught, they are concurrent courses. So those are obviously teaching college courses to high school students, as you know. So my technical experience that I use a lot in the classroom. So prior to being a teacher, I worked for Hewlett Packard, like, the computers, and I was a technical writer there. So if you aren't sure about what technical writing is, when I always tell people I was majoring in technical writing, they would ask about, being an author and stuff like that. So fiction and that kind of thing, that's not really how my brain works within writing. I can do it, but that's just not what comes natural to me. Technical writing is, if you ever think about like instructions that you have read for putting a desk together, or maybe the help menu on some software, all of that kind of stuff, that's all technical writing. Also, if you think like business writing, document design, designing logos, designing websites, all of that, those are all things that are in my background from my classroom experience as a student and things that I had to utilize in the job force. So, and prior to that, I worked for a medical supply company, and I was also a technical writer there. My own interests, my family, my husband and my sons, and our dog, who is Sherlock. So you can see them over there in that picture. We love Sherlock, like the TV shows and the movies and all that kind of stuff. So our dog, we named her Sherlock. Learning. I love learning. Obviously, I'm a teacher. I know it's kind of cliche, but if I could go to school as a student the rest of my life, that would make me so happy. So I love learning about history, especially politics. So much fun to me. So the election coming up, that is like my own little Super Bowl. Cultural studies. I love learning about other cultures. Technology, obviously, I've got some of that in my background. Literature, etc. Also, food and fitness. I love cooking and all that. I like working out. Thankfully, because I like food, I do the working out, and that does help, right? And creativity. I like to do art. I wouldn't say that I am this awesome artist, but it is fun to me. I enjoy it. It is a good creative outlet, and it kind of goes with that learning and doing better thing, and do something and then next time you do it better. So that is where, I especially hone that in. I like decorating and writing, and anything sparkly, then that's pretty much my jam. And my goals for this class. So first of all, my goal for you is to help you grow as a communicator. So everyone struggles in one way or another, overall, but especially with communication, no one is a perfect communicator. As far as writing goes, I think editing is the biggest key. Even for me, editing is, something, and I know it's a pain in the butt, but it is, always fine tuning. The second thing is helping you find your voice. So my voice as a writer and your voice as a writer, they're all different, and that's okay. You can't look at someone else's thing and say, oh, I need to copy exactly what they do. You can draw from an inspiration and maybe learn some styles and techniques, which is fine. But, you are you, and you are made the way you are, and you communicate the way you do. So it's about learning your voice and growing as a writer there. And third, Also to help you be a better citizen. So life in general is about communicating. It's about learning. It's about growing, reading, processing the information, all of that. So this class goes beyond, oh, I learned how to write a paper in MLA format or whatever. This is about learning how to communicate, not just in this class, but in other classes or to your boss or in emails or with family members or friends. It's also about learning the information that is being given to you in the world and learning how to process and analyze it properly. So all of that being said, I am super excited that you guys are in this class with me. Oh, let me get back to it. There we go. So I am super excited to have you guys in this class. And if you guys have any questions at all, please let me know. And let's have a great semester.